All right, let's unravel a really fascinating tech mystery that played out right in the Proxmox community. It's a great story about a bug that, well, wasn't really a bug, and how a bunch of users managed to figure it all out in just a few hours.
Okay, so let's dive right in. Picture this. You're trying to log into a super important server. You've got your username, your password, you're all ready to punch in that two-factor code. But the login field itself feels like a hologram. It's there, you can see it, but you just can't click it.
For a whole bunch of Proxmox users, this was the incredibly frustrating reality. I mean, you've done everything right. You set up your powerful server environment. You added that extra layer of security. But when it's time to type in that time-based one-time password, you know, that 6-digit code from your app, your cursor is just useless. The field is right there, staring you in the face, but you can't interact with it at all.
So what do you do when you're totally locked out? Your first thought is probably, uh-oh, is it just me? But it turns out, people weren't alone. They hit the online forums, and right away the collective troubleshooting kicked off.
The first reports that came in were full of confusion, just like this one. This question really sums it up perfectly. The problem was so weird, it almost felt like it was intentional. Was this some strange security feature nobody knew about, or was something just broken?
And then, bam, the first real clue drops. Another user chimes in with this really important question, pointing a finger at a super common browser tool. Honestly, this one little comment completely changed the game.
And just like that, the floodgates opened. More and more people jumped in, saying, yep, me too, all linking the problem back to their password manager. And with that, the first simple workarounds, like just refreshing the page, started popping up.
So, this is the crucial point, right? The issue wasn't actually with Proxmox itself. The bug wasn't in the server code. Nope. It was another piece of software running right there in the browser, basically hiding in plain sight.
After a whole swarm of replies from sysadmins and home lab enthusiasts, all the evidence started pointing to a tool that millions of people love, a tool that's all about making you more secure, which is the ironic part. That's right, the super popular open-source password manager Bitwarden was the one unintentionally causing all this login chaos. In its effort to be helpful, it was somehow getting in the way of the Proxmox login screen. So how can a password manager even do that? Well, it's a pretty interesting side effect of how these tools work. See, to make our lives easier, autofill tools can be kind of aggressive. They try to figure out where your info goes, but sometimes, in the process, they can hijack the browser's focus or even put an invisible layer right over an input box. And that's exactly what was happening here. Okay, so finding the culprit is one thing, but people still needed to actually log into their stuff. And this is where the community really shined. They came up with a whole bunch of clever, user-tested solutions to get everyone back into their systems.
You gotta love the creativity of online communities, right? The fixes ranged from the totally logical, like just using the tab key to get to the field, to the wonderfully janky, like literally spam clicking the save username button. It's just a great example of users poking and prodding at a problem until it gives up.
Now, this whole situation is more than just a quirky bug story. It actually shines a light on a much deeper, really common tension in software design that, honestly, affects all of us.
It's this constant tug-of-war. On one side, you've got tools like Bitwarden that are all about convenience, making secure logins fast and smooth. On the other side, you've got platforms like Proxmox that are built for control and security, making sure every single click is deliberate. And when these two approaches clash, well, the user often gets stuck right in the middle.
In fact, as this user points out, this whole bug is actually a great reminder that the convenience of autofill can have some real security risks, like clickjacking. That's where a sneaky website tricks you into clicking on something you didn't mean to, like an invisible button. It's one of those trade-offs we don't always think about.
So, if we look past all the technical details of this weird bug, what's the real takeaway here? What's the lesson? This is just a perfect example of what happens when a community puts all its brainpower together. One person asks a question, within a few hours, the problem is figured out, and there are multiple ways to fix it. The solution didn't come from a developer in an office, it came from the users themselves. And it really makes you think about this incredible collective power we have to fix things together. It's just a great reminder that when you're wrestling with some bizarre tech issue, you're probably not alone. Somewhere out there, a whole bunch of fellow nerds have got your back.